Hey everyone, Sparrow Spalding here, and today we're going to talk about why the narcissist has double standards, why they hold themselves to one standard and hold you to a completely different set of standards. I know it's frustrating. It drives many of us crazy. You can't really have a great, meaningful relationship when somebody does this because you're always walking on eggshells and they're always judging you or frequently judging you and criticizing you and critiquing you. And let's talk about why. All right, so the narcissist, you have to remember, can't see you as a separate person or a separate entity, okay? They see you as a mind-made projection. So it's like they're in a movie and you're a character. You're playing a role. You're not playing yourself. You're playing the role that they've devised for you, okay? So you can't be a real person with thoughts, feelings, a bad day. You have to be some version of this character. So if you're having a bad day or if you're making a poor choice, it's really not going to go over very well with the narcissist, okay? So we also have to remember in this movie, the narcissist is the martyr, okay? So imagine their movie is called Passion of the Christ and they're Jesus. However, the funny part is typically they don't hold themselves to the same standard as Jesus because they somehow justify lying, cheating, stealing, gaslighting, complaining, whining, driving people crazy. Like they justify all of that because they're hard done by, because they're the victim. But they see themselves as this perfect person, and typically they really see themselves as the only person in the movie. Everyone else, are characters, they're projections. And so of course this is wildly unfair and you can't ever win in this scenario. And by winning, I mean you can't negotiate and have a good relationship. Now this happens outside of romantic relationships too. It happens with parents, siblings, friends, coworkers, superiors, all kinds of people in your world or narcissists will have a set of double standards. So what do you do about it, right? Well, you've got to call it out. And the way you call it out with narcissists is you have to keep track. You have to keep a log. Hey, on this day, at this time, you said this and you did this. But over here, when I did this, you're all upset with me. Help me understand. And I like to ask a lot of open-ended questions like, help me understand, where's the disconnect? Instead of saying things like why are you doing this? Why tends to put people on the defensive a little bit. So really using more benign questioning to get to the root cause a lot of times can be maybe a little bit more helpful, or at least, it does put them on the hot seat. Help me understand what changed, or where's your line of thinking here? And a lot of times it's not going to go over very well anyway. If it's a narcissist, they're going to blow up, they're going to conflate, gaslight, blame you somehow. And I didn't do that. They'll flat out lie and deny. But you can say, hey, what's good for one is good for all. You're not going to hold me to this standard and hold yourself here. And you can call it out. You're not the victim here. You're acting like the victim again, and it's just not going to fly. Nice try. Not going to go over well here. I'm not buying into this. And a lot of times what I say is, hey, that doesn't work on me. And it doesn't, right? Because I'm educated and I figured this out and I've lived with narcissists and worked with them and been in relationships with them long enough to see right through the tactics. And by the way, there's no guilt, because once you really see down into the nuts and bolts of a narcissist, you can have a little bit of empathy if they had a truly traumatic life, but there's no guilt. You don't take on their thoughts, feelings, fears, responsibilities, none of that. None of that. Your priority is you and self-preservation, because remember, being with a narcissist is emotionally abusive. So your priority is you. Let's not forget that, okay? I want to hear from you. Drop me a line in the comments below and let me know what your experience has been with the double standard, because I've heard a lot of horror stories. And it's something that is really, really hard to get through to a narcissist. And by the way, they can accuse you of cheating, or if you have had an affair or anything like that, they'll think you're the most horrible person on earth, even if they themselves have done it. So it can be, really drastic drastic there with the double standard. But as always, guys, if this was helpful, please like, share, and subscribe, and hug yourself from me. We'll see you next time.